The music was too loud for my heartbeat to keep up. I could feel the pulse in my neck, a steady drum that reminded me this night was supposed to be perfect. My fingers kept brushing the velvet box in my pocket, as if touching it would stop my nerves from shaking. "Noah," I whispered, leaning toward him while pretending to laugh at some guest joke. "Is this bow tie straight?" "I swear it's choking me," he smirked. "You fixed it 6 times, man. You look like a nervous penguin." "I'm about to propose to Elena in front of 100 people. I'm allowed to be nervous. You're also allowed to breathe." He clapped my shoulder. "Relax. She's crazy about you." I smiled because that's what people in love are supposed to do. Across the hall, Elena stood near the flower arch, talking to her maid of honor. Her dress shimmered under the lights, gold and soft, and her laughter rose above the music. I thought I'd never heard anything more beautiful. Noah nudged me. "Go, before you pass out." I nodded, heart racing. The DJ lowered the volume as the crowd turned toward me. I stepped onto the small stage, feeling 1,000 eyes. "Good evening, everyone," I began, my voice trembling. "Tonight isn't just a celebration, it's the start of a lifetime." The crowd cheered. Elena looked surprised but happy, or maybe I imagined that. I motioned for her to come closer. "Elena," I said, pulling the ring box from my pocket, "you've been my reason to wake up every morning, my peace after every storm. I can't imagine my future without you." I opened the box. The diamond caught the light, a promise shining between us, but then she froze. Her smile faltered. Her eyes shifted toward the entrance, and I followed her gaze. A tall man in a black suit stood there, expression unreadable. He had the kind of confidence that filled the room without trying. I didn't know him, but something in Elena's face told me she did. "Elena?" I whispered. "You okay?" She blinked, tears forming, but not the happy kind. I can't do this," she stammered. The crowd murmured. My stomach dropped. "What do you mean?" I asked, trying to laugh it off. "Elena, it's just us." She stepped back. Her voice cracked. "I'm sorry, Ethan." Before I could respond, she turned and walked toward the man. He said something I couldn't hear. Then she took his hand and left, just like that. No explanation, no goodbye. The doors closed behind them, and the hall fell into silence. I stood there, ring still in hand, as whispers spread through the crowd like smoke. Someone coughed. Someone else muttered, "Is this a joke?" But it wasn't. My chest felt hollow. I looked down at the ring, then at the door. She wouldn't. The words barely came out. She couldn't. Noah pushed through the guests and grabbed my arm. "Ethan, let's go." "I need to talk to her. She's gone, man." His tone was firm but kind. "You're not chasing her in front of everyone." The hall lights felt too bright. Faces blurred into colors. I let him drag me outside to the parking lot. The night air hit me like cold water. I leaned against his car, trying to breathe. "She left me, Noah, at our engagement." I saw. He sighed. "I'm so damn sorry." "Who was that guy?" "I don't know. Never seen him." He paused. "But she looked like she did." I ran a hand through my hair. Every second replayed. The hesitation in her smile, the way her eyes had searched the crowd, the way she whispered before leaving. Had this been planned? Noah leaned beside me. "Come on, let's get you home." "I'm fine." "You're not." I laughed bitterly. "Apparently, I'm also single." He didn't smile. "Do you want to talk about it?" "What's there to say?" She just walked out with another man. "I don't even know his name." Silence hung heavy between us. Somewhere, music still played faintly inside, like a cruel echo of what the night was supposed to be. After a while, I said quietly, "She told me last week she had a business trip. Said she'd met some investors, maybe that's where she met him." "Ethan, don't do this to yourself." She didn't even look back. I laughed again, but it sounded hollow. "She just left." He opened the car door. Get in, please. The drive was quiet. City lights blurred past like streaks of broken glass. Every memory of her felt sharp. Her smile in the morning, the way she'd steal my coffee, the tiny scar near her lip. All of it turned into ghosts that refused to fade. At a red light, Noah said softly, "You loved her too much. Is there such a thing?" "When it blinds you, yeah." I didn't answer. I stared at the engagement ring still in my hand. It looked smaller now, useless. Back at my apartment, Noah followed me inside. The place smelled of roses from earlier deliveries. Congratulations that no longer meant anything. "You should rest," he said. "I can't." I dropped onto the couch. "She chose him, Noah, right there in front of everyone. She made her choice. You have to make yours." "Which is?" "Let her go before she ruins what's left of you." I shook my head. "I just want to know why." He exhaled. "Sometimes there's no why. People just stop loving." I wanted to argue, but the words died in my throat. The room felt too quiet, the silence heavier than the betrayal. Noah placed a hand on my shoulder. "Get some sleep. I'll check on you tomorrow." When he left, I sat there staring at the ring until my vision blurred. The clock ticked past midnight. I picked up my phone. No messages, no calls, just an empty screen mocking me. Finally, I whispered to the empty room, "You could have at least told me you stopped loving me." The echo of my voice came back, small and broken. That was the moment it hit me. Everything I believed in had cracked open. Love, loyalty, trust. All of it vanished with the sound of her footsteps leaving that hall. I closed the ring box and placed it on the table. Then I turned off the lights, letting the darkness swallow the noise inside my head. Maybe tomorrow I'd wake up and believe this was all a bad dream. But deep down, I already knew. The night I lost her was the night I lost everything. I hadn't left my apartment in 3 days. The curtains stayed closed, and the world outside kept spinning without me. My phone buzzed every hour, but I didn't answer. Noah's name flashed again. I let it ring. Then my mother called. I hesitated before picking up. "Ethan," she said softly, "you sound awful. Have you eaten?" "I'm fine." "You don't sound fine. I'm coming over." "Don't," I whispered. "Please, Mom. I just need time." There was a pause. "Time won't fix a wound you keep touching. I'm not ready to move on." "I know," she said, "but you can't stop living because she did something unforgivable." Her voice cracked, and that hurt worse than my own heartbreak. "Just rest, okay? Promise me." "I'll try," I lied, then hung up. I sat there, phone in hand, staring at the messages I'd sent Elena. Me. "Can we talk?" Me. "Please, just tell me why." Me. "You owe me that much." No replies. Just blue ticks that mocked me. When Noah finally showed up, he didn't knock. He kicked the door open with a bag of takeout. "You smell like depression," he said, throwing the bag onto the table. "I'm not hungry." "You said that yesterday, and the day before. Eat before you disappear completely." I sighed and sat across from him. "She hasn't called. Not once." "Good. You don't need her. I just want to know what I did wrong." "You didn't do anything wrong. She did." "Then why does it feel like I'm the one being punished?" He leaned forward. "Because you loved her, and she didn't deserve that love." I looked down. "You think she's happy right now?" He hesitated. "Honestly? Yeah, probably. People like her don't look back until it's too late." People like her? The ones who chase excitement over loyalty. I didn't respond. I just kept staring at my untouched food. When he left, I wrote her a message I never sent. "If you ever think about me, I hope it hurts." Later that evening, my phone buzzed again. Unknown number. "Ethan?" "It's Sophie," a familiar voice said. "Hey," I muttered. "What's up?" I shouldn't be calling, but You deserve to know. Know what? Elena's been with that guy, Liam, for a while. I think since before the engagement. My stomach dropped. You're lying. I wish I was. I sat up, voice shaking. You mean she planned it? The whole thing? I don't know the details, but yeah, it wasn't sudden. They met on her business trip. I rubbed my forehead. So all those nights she said she was tired? She was lying? I think so. Why are you telling me this? Because you deserve the truth, she said quietly. And because I can't stand watching her post pictures like nothing happened. She's posting? Yeah. Paris, candlelight dinners, all that crap. I laughed bitterly. Guess she's living her dream. Ethan, don't look it up. Promise me. Too late, I said, already opening her page. The first picture hit harder than I expected. Elena in a red dress, Liam's arm around her. The caption read, New beginnings. My chest felt tight. She looks happy. Don't do this to yourself. Thanks, Sophie. I appreciate it. I'm sorry, she whispered, then hung up. The silence that followed was unbearable. I stared at the ceiling, trying not to think. But thoughts came anyway. Had every I love you been fake? Every late night call, every promise, every kiss? I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. So I did the only thing that felt real. I grabbed a notebook and started writing. Dear Elena, I hate you for making me love you this much. I hate that I still check my phone, hoping your name appears. I hate that I can't hate you enough to forget you. I stopped, ripped out the page and tossed it aside. But my hand kept moving. Dear Elena, do you remember our first movie together? You fell asleep halfway through. I stayed up, watching you breathe. Tear stains blurred the ink. I wrote another. Then another. Each letter felt like blood draining from an open wound. When Noah called again, I ignored it. I just kept writing. By midnight, the floor was covered in torn pages. The apartment reeked of old food and her perfume that lingered on my jacket. I picked it up, pressing it to my face. Why does it still smell like you? The walls answered with silence. I threw the jacket across the room and slumped against the wall. My phone buzzed again, a message from Mom. I love you, son. Please don't let this destroy you, I typed back. I'll be okay. But even as I hit send, I knew I wasn't. The next morning, Noah returned with coffee. He looked at the mess and frowned. You writing letters now? It helps. To who? To her. Does she get them? No, they stay here. He sighed. You need to stop. I will. When the noise stops, what noise? The one in my head that keeps replaying her leaving. He sat beside me. You know what I think? What? That someday you'll be grateful she left. I laughed quietly. You think heartbreak turns into gratitude? Eventually, yeah. Pain always teaches something. Then I must be getting a PhD in suffering. He smiled faintly. Come on, Professor. Let's get some air. I'm not ready. You'll never be ready. Just open the window, I did. Cold air rushed in, carrying a bit of the world I'd shut out. For the first time in days, I took a deep breath. It hurt, but it felt alive. Noah nodded. Good, that's step 1. I looked at him. What's step 2? He grinned. You'll figure it out when you stop writing to ghosts. I smiled weakly. Maybe he was right. Maybe silence wasn't punishment. It was the world waiting for me to speak again. 3 months passed, but time didn't heal anything. It just dulled the edges. My reflection in the mirror barely looked human. Pale skin, unshaven jaw, eyes with no light. Noah walked in without knocking. You still alive in there? Unfortunately, I muttered, shutting the mirror cabinet. He looked around. You quit your job, ignored everyone, and turned your place into a crime scene. Congratulations, you're officially haunting your own apartment. I slumped onto the couch. What's your point? My point, he said, throwing me a jacket, is that you're coming out with me. I'm not in the mood. You haven't been in the mood for 3 months. I don't belong out there. He sighed. Then belong somewhere else. Just not here. Come on, it's a cafe. There's air, people, coffee. Coffee doesn't fix betrayal. No, but caffeine's a good start. I didn't want to go, but his stubbornness was stronger than my misery. 10 minutes later, I was sitting across from him in a small cafe that smelled like roasted beans and sunshine. The world looked alive again, even if I didn't. Noah tapped his cup. See, civilization. No ghosts, no crying. Just normal people. Normal's overrated, he smirked. Maybe, but at least they shower. I almost smiled. Then someone bumped my chair. I turned and a laptop bag hit my foot. Oh God, I'm so sorry, a woman said, bending down to grab her charger. It's fine, I said automatically. She straightened up. Short brown hair, steady eyes. The kind of face that didn't hide behind smiles. She looked at me, really looked, and froze. Wait, she said softly. You're that guy from the video, aren't you? I stiffened. What video? The engagement one. The one where she walked out, my jaw tightened. Yeah, that's me. I'm sorry, she said quickly. That came out wrong. No, you're fine, I replied, though it didn't feel fine. She hesitated, then said, You looked like a man who loved too deeply. Her words caught me off guard. That's a strange thing to say to a stranger. Strange, but true. She gave a faint smile. Everyone online made jokes. I just saw Heartbreak. Noah raised an eyebrow. And you are? Maya, she said. I come here to write. Writer? I asked. Photographer, she corrected. But words help when pictures fail. I nodded slowly. Nice philosophy. She tilted her head. You look like someone who stopped believing in anything. I laughed under my breath. Pretty accurate. Guess the internet didn't exaggerate. It rarely does, she said dryly. It just forgets you when the next tragedy comes. Her tone wasn't pity. It was honesty. And somehow that stung more. Noah looked between us, amused. You two want me to leave you alone to philosophize? Please don't, I said. I'm not ready for deep conversations, Maya smiled. That's what people say before they have one. I sipped my coffee, avoiding her gaze. So what do you see now? Another man who loved too deeply? No, she said quietly. I see someone who's trying not to hate himself for it. The words hit harder than I expected. I looked away, jaw tightening. You don't even know me. I don't have to. Pain looks the same on everyone. I wanted to argue, but I couldn't. There was something grounding about her calmness, like she'd been through her own storm. Noah stood. I'll grab another coffee. You two seem busy. He walked off, leaving silence between us. Maya folded her hands around her mug. You ever take photos? No, you should. It helps you see things you stopped noticing. Like what? Light, she said simply. Even broken glass reflects it. I stared at her. That's poetic. It's just true. For the first time in months, something inside me stirred. Not hope, but curiosity. So do you fix people with cameras or just scare them with honesty? Neither, she said. I just show them what they don't want to see. And what do you see in me? A stranger, she said, but one who might recognize himself again someday. Her words lingered. I didn't know how to respond. Noah returned, setting a cup in front of me. See? You lasted 30 minutes without falling apart. Progress. I managed a faint smile. Barely, Maya packed her laptop. It was nice meeting you, Ethan. Your name was in the video title. She stood, adjusting her bag. Next time, try looking at your reflection without flinching. I frowned. Why would I flinch? Because you're still seeing the man she broke, she said. Not the one who survived. Then she walked away. Noah watched her leave. Interesting woman. Yeah, I murmured. He grinned. You're thinking about her already. I'm thinking about what she said. That you're broken? No, I said quietly. That maybe I'm still alive. Noah nodded. That's step 2. Step 2? Yeah, step 1 was opening the window. Remember? I chuckled softly. Guess I'm getting somewhere then. When I got home that night, I looked in the mirror again. Same eyes, same scars, but something felt different. Maybe it was her words, or maybe I just wanted to believe them. For the first time in a long time, the stranger in my reflection blinked back and almost smiled. When I met Maya again, it wasn't planned. I just walked into the cafe one afternoon and there she was, headphones on, editing photos. She looked up, smiled faintly. You came back. I didn't realize this was your territory, I said. It's not. Just a habit. Coffee and quiet. I could use both. She gestured to the chair across from her. Then sit. You look less like a ghost today. I've been practicing, I said, half smiling. She studied me. Still haunted? Sometimes. But I think the ghosts are getting bored. Good, she said. Bored ghosts mean healing humans. I laughed softly. That sounds like something you'd put on a mug. I might, she said, smirking. So how's life after viral heartbreak? Less viral, still heartbreak. Then we're even, she said. Mine was quieter. No cameras. That was the first time she admitted she'd been broken too. I didn't ask how, it didn't matter. Pain recognized pain. She slid her camera across the table. Here, try, I frowned. You're trusting me with that? Why not? You already look like someone who's careful with fragile things. I lifted the camera, awkwardly pressing buttons. What am I shooting? Anything, she said. Don't think. Just look, I pointed it toward the window. It's just sunlight. It's never just sunlight, she said. Wait for how it touches the glass. I watched the light scatter through the cup she held. That's actually beautiful. Exactly. She leaned forward. You're starting to see. See what? That even broken things can reflect light, she said. Remember? I lowered the camera slowly. You really believe that? I have to, she said softly. Otherwise, none of this makes sense. We spent hours like that, talking, shooting, laughing at blurry photos. For the first time in months, my laughter didn't sound foreign. The next few weeks blurred into a rhythm. Mornings alone, afternoons with Maya, evenings when silence didn't crush me anymore. One evening at the park, she handed me a printed photo I'd taken. It was of a cracked mug on the cafe table, light spilling through it. You framed this? I asked. You did. I just printed it. I traced the photo's edges. It's imperfect. So are we, she said. But look how it holds the light. Her words stayed with me. That night, when I got home, the apartment didn't feel like a tomb anymore. It was still quiet, but not painfully so. I made coffee, opened my laptop, and scrolled through old folders. Elena's photos filled the screen. Her smile, her eyes, her world. My phone buzzed. Unknown number, then a voice message. Ethan. It's me, I froze. Her voice sounded hesitant, familiar, dangerous. Please don't hang up, she said. I just wanted to... I ended the call. My hands trembled, but not from sadness. It was something else. Resolve. For a long time, I just stared at the screen. Then I selected the folder labeled Elena. Are you sure you want to delete these? The prompt asked, I whispered. Yes. Click. Gone. The silence after was strange. Empty, yet peaceful. I sat back, breathing slowly. It didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. It felt like letting oxygen back into my lungs after months underwater. The next morning, sunlight spilled across my floor. Same window, same world, but it looked different. I texted Maya. You were right. Light finds cracks, she replied. Told you. Coffee later? Always, I typed. At the cafe, she looked at me, then at my camera. You brought it. Thought I'd practice, I said. Show me what you see today. I pointed the lens toward her. You, she blinked. Me? Why? Because you're light too, I said quietly. She didn't respond for a second. Then softly. Careful, Ethan. That sounds dangerously like hope. Maybe it is, I said. Or maybe I'm just learning to breathe again, she smiled. Both sound good. We sat in comfortable silence after that, the kind that doesn't need filling. For once, I wasn't trapped in memories. I wasn't waiting for a call, a message, a reason. I just existed. In this small, sunlit corner of life I thought I'd lost. When I lifted the camera, the world framed itself perfectly. Cracked mug, half-empty cup, light spilling across the table. Ordinary, but alive. And as the shutter clicked, I realized something simple, yet freeing. I didn't need Elena's apology. I didn't even need closure. I just needed to keep looking toward the light, and this time, I didn't flinch. It happened on a Tuesday, the kind of day that felt too ordinary for ghosts to appear. I was buried in paperwork when my secretary buzzed in. Ethan, there's someone asking to see you. I'm not taking walk-ins, I said, barely glancing up. She said her name is Elena. The pen slipped from my hand. For a second, I thought I'd misheard. Elena? What? She didn't say. But she looks like she needs to talk. My chest tightened. Send her in. The door creaked open, and there she was. Same eyes, same face, just hollow now. Elena. My voice came out flat, unfamiliar. She smiled weakly. You still say my name the same way. I doubt I say anything the same anymore. She took a hesitant step forward. You look different. I should. It's been months. Her eyes darted to my desk, the framed photo of a sunset Maya helped me capture. Photography suits you, she murmured. I found new things to look at, I said. Why are you here? She inhaled shakily. I didn't know where else to go. I leaned back, arms crossed. You had plenty of places to go. You chose one that wasn't me. Tears welled in her eyes. Please don't do that. Don't be cruel. Cruel? I laughed quietly. You walked out on our engagement, Elena, in front of everyone. You left me with silence, remember? I remember everything, she whispered. Every second. Then you should understand why I don't owe you a conversation. She flinched but stayed standing. Liam's gone, she said finally. I figured. He cheated. Used me, took my money. I said nothing. Just listened to the sound of her unraveling. He said he loved me, Ethan. And when I found out he didn't, it was too late. The debts were already in my name. I see, I said quietly. I'm living in a rented room now. I barely sleep. I keep thinking about you, about us. Her voice cracked. I made a mistake. I looked down at my hands. They didn't shake anymore. People do. Don't you care at all? She asked. About what happened to me? I used to, I said. Back when your choices defined my worth. Not anymore. She took a step closer. Please, Ethan, just listen. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just want another chance. A chance to what? Hurt me again? No, she said quickly. A chance to make things right. I stood up slowly. You can't fix what you burned to ash. Her lip trembled. I thought he was everything you weren't. Exciting. Wild. I was stupid. You were selfish, I said. That's not the same thing. She looked down, her voice small. You don't understand. I was scared. You loved too much. It felt like drowning. And running off with another man was your way of breathing? I didn't think it through. I thought you'd always be there. I let out a long breath. That's the thing, Elena. I was always there. Until I wasn't. She reached out, fingertips brushing the air between us. I still love you. I froze. The words used to mean everything. Now they were just sound. You loved the version of me who worshipped you. That man's gone. Please, she said again, her voice breaking. I don't have anyone. You had me, I said. You chose someone else. She shook her head, tears spilling. I was blind, Ethan. I see it now. You were good. You were real. Too late, I said softly. Say something else, anything. Just don't be silent. I was silent for months, I said. Now silence feels like peace. Her breathing grew ragged. You can't mean that. I do. The room went quiet. She stared at me like she didn't recognize who I'd become. Maybe she didn't. Maybe that was the point. Finally, she whispered, Is there someone else? I thought of Maya's calm voice, her steady eyes, her quiet strength. There's someone, I said. But it's not what you think. Elena's lips parted. You've moved on. I started breathing again. She covered her face, crying softly. I ruined everything. You did, I said. And I lived through it. Her shoulders shook. I deserve this pain. Maybe, maybe not. But it's not mine to carry anymore. She looked up one last time. If I'd stayed that night, don't, I said sharply. You didn't. That's all it took. Her eyes widened. That's what you'll remember me by? That's what's left. For a long moment, we just stood there, two strangers tied by a memory neither wanted. Then she whispered, Goodbye, Ethan. Goodbye, Elena. She turned, her reflection flickering in the glass door, small, fragile, fading. When the door shut, I waited for the ache. It never came, just calm, quiet. Like the final note of a song that once broke me. I sat down, stared at the lights spilling across my desk, and smiled. The ghosts were finally gone. They say karma doesn't knock. It walks in quietly, sits across from you, and smiles. I didn't expect it to arrive through whispers at the office. Did you hear about Elena? one of my designers asked. I looked up from my sketches. No, what about her? Her company's gone under. Something about fraud and unpaid debts. I nodded once. I see. She's been selling things online, another added. Even her car. The words should have made me feel triumphant. Instead, I just felt. Still, I closed my laptop. Back to work, guys. When they left, I sat alone, listening to the hum of rain outside the window. Months ago, that kind of news would have ripped me apart. Now it barely touched me. That's when Noah called. Heard the news? I did, he laughed softly. You're quiet. I thought you'd be celebrating. There's nothing to celebrate, I said. It's just karma doing its thing. You've changed, man. I had to. He paused. And the studio? You're really doing this, huh? Yeah, I said, glancing at the sketches spread across my desk. We're launching next week. Maya helped me build the concept. Ah, he teased. The mysterious photographer. She's just different. Different how? She doesn't fix me, I said. She reminds me I don't need fixing, he chuckled. Sounds like someone's healing. Maybe, I said quietly. Or maybe I just learned that peace isn't loud. After the call, I packed up and walked out into the rain. The streets glowed under city lights, wet, soft, alive. I pulled my jacket tighter and started toward the studio. Halfway there, I saw her, Maya, standing under a broken street lamp, holding a paper folder close to her chest, rain soaking her sleeves. I walked over, lifting my umbrella. You'll catch a cold like that. She turned, surprised. Ethan? Yeah, long night? Always, she said, smiling faintly. You? Just leaving the office. I was thinking about the launch. I've been editing your photos for it, she said. They're almost ready. Of course you have, I said, stepping closer to share the umbrella. You never rest, she laughed. Neither do you. For a moment we stood in the rain, just listening to the drops hitting the ground. It felt strangely peaceful, no tension, no ghosts. You look lighter, she said suddenly. Do I? Yeah, like someone who finally stopped running from his own reflection. I smiled. Maybe I stopped needing to prove I survived. You did survive, she said softly. More than that, you grew. I looked at her, really looked. Her hair clung to her face, eyes tired but kind. You helped with that, I said. She shook her head. No, you did that yourself. For a second, silence stretched between us. Comfortable, warm, real. I broke it with a small laugh. You know what's funny? I used to think karma would feel like revenge. And now? It feels like balance, she tilted her head. You saw her, didn't you? Elena? Yeah, I did, I said. A while back. She came to me, said Liam, cheated, stole from her, left her drowning in debt. And what did you do? I listened. Then I let her go. Did it hurt? No, I said honestly. That's how I knew I was free. Maya nodded slowly. Karma doesn't always punish. Sometimes it teaches. Exactly, I said. It wasn't about her losing everything. It was about me finding myself, she smiled. Sounds like closure. Yeah, the kind that doesn't need words. We started walking again, sharing the umbrella. The city felt softer somehow, the air cleaner, the noise gentler. You ever think about the past? She asked quietly. Sometimes, I said, but not like before. It's not a wound anymore. It's just a story I lived through. And what story comes next? I don't know, I said. But for once, I'm okay not knowing, she laughed lightly. You? The man who planned everything down to the second? That version of me died at an engagement party. Then who are you now? I thought for a second. Someone who designs things, not people, not futures. Just designs. That's a good start, she said. We reached the corner near her apartment. She stopped. This is me. I hesitated before handing her the umbrella. Take it. What about you? I'll manage. She looked at me for a moment, searching. You sure? Yeah, I said. You've covered me long enough. She smiled, small, understanding. Good night, Ethan. Good night, Maya. I turned away, letting the rain hit my face. It felt cold, clean, honest. As I walked, my phone buzzed, a message from Noah, saw an article. Elena filed for bankruptcy, you okay? I typed back, better than okay, for once I meant it. The world didn't owe me revenge. It owed me peace, and I finally took it. I reached the studio door, dripping wet but smiling anyway. Inside, sketches waited. A future waited, and somewhere in the background, I could almost hear the echo of my own voice from months ago, asking why. Now, I didn't need the answer. Some questions, I realized, don't deserve one. Karma had already spoken, and it sounded a lot like forgiveness. I found it while cleaning, an envelope buried beneath old sketches and coffee-stained notes. My handwriting on the front read, Elena. For a long time, I just stared at it. When I finally opened it, my words hit like a ghost's whisper. I still love you. Please come back. God. I barely recognized the man who'd written it. Maya's voice echoed from my phone speaker. You sound weird. What's going on? I found something, I said. What kind of something? An old letter. From when I was still trying to make sense of everything. She was silent for a second. And now it just feels like a stranger wrote it. Maybe that's a good thing, she said gently. It means you're not him anymore. Maybe, I murmured. But part of me wants to finish it. Not for her, for me. She laughed softly. You writing to your past self? Yeah, I said. To the version of me who begged for love he already deserved. Then write it, she said. He deserves to hear from you. After the call, I sat at my desk with a blank page. The rain tapped against the window. Soft, rhythmic, forgiving. I started writing. Hey, you. You think the world ended, but it didn't. You think love is proof of worth, but it's not. You'll lose her and it'll hurt, but that pain will build you into someone who knows peace. You'll wake up one day and not need her name to feel alive. I stopped, staring at the words. My hand trembled, but not from sadness. From relief, I kept going. You'll meet people who see you, really see you. One of them will hand you an umbrella in the rain and remind you that healing isn't loud. You'll laugh again. You'll sleep without replaying every goodbye. When I finished, I folded the paper and sealed it without a name. It wasn't meant for anyone else. That weekend, I went to a wedding. Noah had dragged me there, claiming I needed to be around Joy. I didn't expect her to be there, but she was. Elena. She stood across the hall in a pale dress, holding a glass she wasn't drinking from. For a moment, our eyes almost met. Almost. Then she looked away. Noah leaned toward me. Awkward? Just history, I said. Nothing more, he grinned. You sure? Yeah, I said. I buried that chapter. Later, as I stepped outside for air, she followed. Ethan, she said quietly. Elena. Her voice trembled. You look happy, I smiled. Because I learned how to be. Without you. She nodded, eyes glistening. I'm glad. Silence fell, heavy but not painful. I heard about your studio, she said. You really did it. I did, I said. Turns out freedom makes good inspiration. She looked at the ground. I messed up, didn't I? That's not my story to tell anymore. Her lips parted, but no words came. Finally, she whispered, I'm sorry. I know, I said. I forgave you a long time ago. Her eyes met mine, thus not searching, not pleading. Just understanding. Take care, Elena, I said. You too. When she walked away, I didn't watch her leave. I didn't need to. That night, I drove to the bridge, the same one I'd stood on after she left me. The city lights shimmered against the river. Soft and endless. I pulled out the letter. Guess this is it, I whispered. The paper fluttered in my hand, weightless. I read the last line one more time. You made it. Then I let it fall. The wind caught it first, spinning it once before it touched the water. The river carried it downstream. My final confession, my final goodbye. For a moment, I just stood there watching the ripples fade. Then I laughed, quietly, freely, like someone who'd finally stopped bleeding. My phone buzzed. A text from Maya, you okay? Yeah, I typed back. I let go. As I turned to leave, the air felt lighter. The man who'd written that first letter was gone. The one walking away finally knew peace. And for the first time in years, I didn't look back. I didn't notice when peace stopped feeling strange. Maybe it happened slowly, between quiet mornings and the soft click of my camera shutter. Still obsessed with symmetry? Maya teased, leaning over my shoulder as I framed a photo of the city skyline. I grinned. Balance feels good. Guess I'm just chasing it everywhere now, she laughed. You sound like one of those motivational podcasts. Hey, don't ruin my poetic moment. She rolled her eyes. You used to sound like a sad song, Ethan. Now you're quoting self-help lines. Growth, I said. Scary, right? We sat on a park bench afterward, sipping coffee that was too hot for the weather. The trees were half green, half yellow, caught between seasons like we used to be. Maya broke the silence.
Do you ever think about her?
I looked at the steam rising from my cup. Not really. Sometimes I remember, but it feels like remembering someone else's story. That's what healing looks like, she said. I used to think healing meant forgetting, I admitted. But I remember everything. It just doesn't hurt anymore. She smiled softly. You finally stopped trying to rewrite the ending, I chuckled. Guess so. Later that week, I walked past the cafe where Maya and I had first met. The door chimed. The smell of roasted beans wrapped around me. And for a moment I stood there just listening to the low hum of laughter and music. Something inside me whispered. You've been here before, but it didn't sting. The barista looked up. Hey, haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, I said, stepping inside. Been busy starting over, she smiled. The usual? Sure, I said. Black, no sugar. I found the same corner table where I'd once sat, head down, broken, pretending to read. Back then, everything had felt heavy. Now even the air felt lighter, Maya texted. You alive or did caffeine finally kill you? Still breathing, I typed. At the old cafe. Feels weird. Weird good or weird bad? She replied. Weird peaceful, I sent back. She replied with a heart emoji. Simple, quiet, like her. I sipped my coffee and watched people move around me. Strangers laughed, argued, fell in love. Life didn't stop. It never did. I just finally caught up to it. When I left, sunlight spilled across the street, catching on the glass of a nearby shop window. I saw my reflection, faint, almost fading between light and shadow. For months, I'd avoided mirrors. Now I stepped closer. I saw lines of exhaustion replaced by calm. My eyes didn't dart away this time, I whispered. Hey, stranger. Someone behind me laughed. Talking to yourself again? I turned. Maya stood there holding 2 takeaway cups. You stalking me now? I asked. She handed me 1 cup. Coincidence. Or maybe fate. Depends how dramatic you're feeling today. Let's go with coincidence, I said. Less pressure. We walked down the street together. She kicked at a loose pebble, sending it skittering ahead. You know, she said, you're smiling without realizing it. Am I? Yeah, you used to fake it. Now it just happens. Guess I forgot how to pretend. That's progress, I laughed. You're starting to sound like me now. Don't flatter yourself. We crossed the bridge as the sky deepened into orange. Cars hummed below, people hurried past, and I realized how alive everything felt when you stopped waiting for pain to return. Maya leaned on the railing. Do you think you'll ever fall in love again? I hesitated. Maybe, but not because I need to. Because I want to when it feels right, she nodded. That's the difference, isn't it? Wanting instead of needing. Exactly. Still, whoever it is, they better know how to make good coffee. High standards, I said. Someone's got to keep you grounded. Don't worry, I said, smiling. You already do, she nudged me playfully. Don't make it weird, I laughed. The kind that came from somewhere easy, not forced, not defensive. When I got home later, I dropped my keys on the counter and caught my reflection again, this time in the mirror by the door. Same mirror. Different man. I remembered the night I'd stared into it, barely recognizing the person who'd lost everything. Now I looked and saw someone whole. My phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. Hey, Ethan. It's been a while. I hope you're okay, Elena. For a moment, my chest didn't tighten. My hands didn't shake. I just read it. Flat, neutral, like a page in a book I'd already finished. I typed a reply. Then deleted it. Instead, I placed the phone face down. I walked to the window, pulled the curtain slightly aside, and let the last streak of sunlight brush across my face. I whispered to myself. I forgot her, not like losing something. More like setting it down and realizing I no longer needed to carry it. I brewed tea, not coffee this time. Sat on the couch, listened to the quiet hum of the city outside. When the mirror caught my reflection again, I didn't look away. There was no guilt, no ache, No ghost behind my eyes, just me. And for the first time, just me felt like enough. I smiled, not because of anyone, not in spite of anyone, just because peace finally felt like home.